Okay, guys, let's take a look at another type of rhetorical question. It's best word, correct word. They're a little different, but really they're asking the same thing: is can you choose the right word? Okay, so they're asking you to understand the understood intent of an underlying word. So you have to understand the context of the word. It helps if you know synonyms of the word because then you can kind of shift the context a little bit. And then something to note here is that questions that include the words examples or illustrates, they require an answer that gives specific examples. Okay, you really need to get very specific. All right, so here's an example of a correct word. And correct word can be harder because they don't give you a lot of context. Their correct word are more about grammatical correctness. So this reads, baseball is unique among American sports by its ability to create a childlike love of fable and legend. So we have to really plug in to see if this works. We should be able to immediately begin to eliminate answer choices. Like by its ability, that's not quite right. Okay? It doesn't grammatically work. But if you take a look at the answer choices, let's do that and plug in. So baseball is unique among American sports as its ability. That doesn't sound right at all. We can eliminate that one. C, in its ability. Oh, it's possessive. It possesses an ability. Isn't that really what the sentence wants us to do? To give a possessive ability. Yes, it does. So that sounds like a positive answer. Now, what I do when I'm not sure if something is right or wrong is I put like a little plus sign next to the C because maybe I want to read the other answer choice too. So put a little plus sign next to it, then move on to D. And D sounds right too. Baseball is unique among American sports because its ability. Now you may have noticed something. Because its ability is kind of how we speak. Grammatically speaking, what word would you have to have with because? That'd be because of its ability. So it's a little trick because your ear it sounds fine, but in grammatically speaking it doesn't. So that's why we want to go with the answer choice C in that one. So these are correct word are really about grammatical reasons. So here's another example of grammatical correct word. And when glints of the afternoon sun shone off Mickey Mantle's colossal bat, there will have to be seen for one brief stirring moment in the glimmer of the jewels in King Arthur's one mighty sword, Excalibur. So this one says there will have to be. Now, whenever they're looking for verbiage, you need to look at other verbs in the sentence. So for instance, this one has a verb right above it, right above will, you see the word shown. That is past tense. So we know really that we need to have something that's past tense. So what can we eliminate? Will is present tense. We can eliminate it. Can is present tense. We can eliminate it. But could is a conditional. And because it is more flexible, it can be past tense, right? And that's why could is the correct answer there. So, and when glints of the afternoon sun shone off Mickey Mantle's colossal bat, there could be seen. So you could see it for one brief. So that's why that is the correct answer. Right? Now, best word are a lot different. They give you some clues. They give you hints, maybe some extra information. And we want to make sure that we are paying attention to that extra information to build context. So this one reads, there, Arthur Mitchell, director of the fledgling dance theater of Harlem, listened to her improvising on the piano one day. So now they give us the extra information. It says, at this point, the writer wants to express the coincidental nature of the event being described. Which choice would most effectively accomplish this purpose? What you want to do is you want to underline the key clues. And in this one, it is coincidental nature. So we want this to sound like a coincidence, like, whoops, didn't mean for it to happen. So which one sounds like that? Is it listened to? Is it happened to overhear? That sounds about right. Just happened over here. Sounds like a coincidence. Whoops, didn't mean to. And that's why happened to overhear is the correct answer. Okay, notice that I'm underlining the key, the clue. You got to underline the clue. Coincidental nature, happened over here. Here is another one. At first, I was startled by the small lizards, the tiny creatures that are everywhere. Then they give us extra information. Which choice gives the sense that these lizards can easily startle a person? How do they easily startle a person? Well, which one of those answer choices sounds startling? Teeny creatures that are everywhere? Teeny almost sounds cute, so probably not that. What about B, miniature dinosaurs that dart around corners? That sounds kind of terrifying, that miniature dinosaurs are darting around corners to me. But let's look at the other answer choices. Wiggly things that find their way. Oh, they're just wiggly. How cute. Or reptiles that call attention to themselves. None of those sound nearly as startling as B, right? Easily startle a person. That's what we want to underline that. And you need to write on the test. So underline the clue when you can. Here's another one. This one doesn't quite give you a clue, but it still is a best word, right? The first stage is marked by eagerness. One morning you tear into a wall feeling a trickle of enthusiasm as plaster crumbles beneath your wrecking bar. So you're smashing a wall. Which one sounds really, you know, best here? Well, there's already a clue in the sentence. It says the first stage is marked by eagerness. So which one of those words look really eager? A surge, a twinge, or an ounce, or a trickle? I guess you could go no change. Well, I tell you right now that I would feel a surge of energy if I were tearing into a wall. Sorry, and that is why that is the correct answer. A surge of energy, right? All right. So that's best word, correct word, guys. It's about reading in context. It's about understanding what they want you to choose based upon the context of the sentence and the clues that they are giving you.